the 16th of February, 2016. And this is Wayne Goldsboro Television. Thanks for being with us. I'm Wayne Alley.
I'm Pat Garner.
Pat Garner is here with us today because Kate's on assignment. Again. Just teasing. Kate is such a busy person. You know, she's the president of the Chamber of Commerce of Wayne County, and she's being pulled in 800 different directions at one time. She's doing a great job for the Chamber and doing a great job for us. But unfortunately, there's only one of her. Never mind. Okay, it's the 16th of the month, all right. Thank you for being with us. And it's a Tuesday, all right. Tuesday, and that means that today is the Wayne County Commissioners meeting. That begins at 8 o'clock with an agenda briefing. And then the meeting itself will begin at 9 o'clock, the formal meeting will. And you are invited to attend. There's no charge to get in. And you just come on in and sit down and just enjoy the meeting. And I'll tell you something. You learn so much by going to this to the commissioners meeting each time. A lot of people don't realize what they do. Let me ask you a question. What do the Wayne County Board of Commissioners do? You got to come and find out, because I think you'll find it pretty interesting. They make a lot of decisions that directly affect Wayne County, and they directly affect you. So it's a good idea. And they have the betterment of the Wayne County as a whole when they make decisions about things that need to be decided upon here in Wayne County. So if you would, please attend the meeting. If you can't, if you're at work, at least you can go online. And the meeting today will be on our website. There'll be a link on our website. You simply go to waynegov.com and click on the link that's right there on the main page.
Nope.
And it's not. Go to a link that will take you somewhere. Where's that link?
It's on the home page, but it says Commissioners Meeting Live Broadcast.
And that will take you where?
To straight to the Commissioners Meeting.
Oh.
The live meeting itself.
Well, that's kind of what I meant. I didn't say that, did I?
No.
Kind of what I meant. And if you haven't noticed, we've got a brand new website. Oh boy.
That's right.
We have a new website. It's still waynegov.com, and we have made a lot of changes. And I must say, and she's not going to say anything while I'm sitting here talking about it, but Pat Garner was instrumental in getting all this done. It took a lot of people,
It did.
a long time, to get our new website done. But this young lady sitting next to me was instrumental in accomplishing that difficult feat. So thank you for all the work you did.
You're welcome.
And we're going to have a program on this later on as well. Okay? And I'll ask today's trivia question. Oh, that's a good one.
What is it?
All right, I'll make it easier. Within three, the category is Africa, which some people actually think is a country. But Africa is not a country, it's a continent made up of several different countries. So within three, one way or the other, how many countries are in Africa, or on actually the continent of Africa? How many countries are on the continent of Africa? Now in North America, we have Canada, the U.S., and Mexico. In Central America, there's a lot more. South America, there's a bunch. Asia and Europe, there's several there as well. How many countries are on the continent of Africa? Ta-da! That's the question. Now, what you got?
We have, we are needing poll workers for Board of Election. The primary early voting is coming up March
3rd, I think, is when that opens. The early voting, one-stop voting starts on March 3rd.
And so the Board of Elections is looking for Wayne County residents that can be service-oriented and comfortable with basic computer functions to be poll workers.
Okay, that sounds good. So what do they do?
They can contact the Board of Elections, 731-1140.
No.
No?
No.
What's the number?
1411.
Yeah, 1411. That's it.
I'm just guessing. I made that up.
No, it is 731-1411.
731-1411. And all you have to, you're under no commitment. Once you call, you just call and find out what's involved, what you have to do, and there you go.
There you go. That's
and it is quite interesting, I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that. All right, birthdays very quickly before we go to our interview. A fellow by the name of William Catt. If you remember the greatest American hero on television, that's William Catt. Right?
Maybe.
Okay. I happen to remember him because you ever heard of Perry Mason on television?
Yes.
His secretary's, the character's name was Della Street. William Catt is her son. He's also the son of Bill Williams, who played Kit Carson on television back in 1955. So there you go. And he looks a lot like him too. Anyway, that's how that's all tied together. But so what? Anyway, he's a very talented actor. He's also done a lot of other things too. Actually played Paul Drake's son on the latter Perry Mason series. He's 64 years today. LeVar Burton of television's science fiction, outer space, that kind of stuff. I can't remember the name of the program.
No,
it'll come to me. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. Anyway, he's 59 today, LeVar Burton is. He also does PSAs about reading books. Smart guy. Ice-T, you remember him? He is from Law and Order. He plays one of the cops, often an undercover cop. Ice-T is 50.
Oh,
he's also a rapper, you know?
Yeah.
Ice-T from Law and Order. He's 58 years today. He is also, Lisa Loring is also a lovely actress, is 58 as well today. Those are some of the birthdays we have of people having birthdays today. If they weren't having a birthday today, I wouldn't be reading that. Works for me. Okay, February the 16th is today. We're going to go to our interview now, and we'll be back after that. Right?
Yes.
Yes. We welcome to the studio Mr. Wallace Simmons today, and Wallace is the county extension agent for 4-H here in Wayne County. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Good to see you.
Good seeing you.
Now, what do you bring to the table today about 4-H?
Well, I'm telling you a little bit about things that has happened, a few things that are coming up in the 4-H program. So
Okay.
I'd like to just kind of share those with the audience so that they'll know what to expect, and the audience is invited to some of these things as well to come
Great.
and see.
Okay.
And to tell what our young people are doing in the community.
Okay, what's coming up?
Well, we have our 4-H Super Bowl coming up on Tuesday, February the 16th, starting at 6:30. Now, the Super Bowl is something I came up with the other day, kind of matched with the Super Bowl that's coming up this weekend.
I understand where it came from, yeah.
But it's a little bit different the way we do it. It's a community service program for the young people in the county. What they do is they come either as an individual or family, and they bring their favorite soup. And soup.
Ooh.
And so in the cold winter time here, we have soup, and as part of the community service, they take half of what they make, and we donate it to the soup kitchen.
Well, how nice.
As a community service. So, and then after we take off the first portion and donate it to the soup kitchen, we share a bowl of soup with everybody just to go around and
I get it,
try
Wallace. The soup or bowl.
Soup or bowl.
You rascal, you. That's pretty catchy there.
So it works out. It's working out really well.
Yeah, I like that. That's great. So when is that?
That is February the 16th, starting
Okay.
at 6:30 at the Wayne County Cooperative Extension Service, which is the Wayne Center.
The Wayne Center, corner
Yes.
of George and Chestnut
Oh,
Street.
yes, sir.
Okay. Does anybody need to register or anything like that? or-
No, well, they need to let us know if they're coming from the public, but yes, they need to, if they want to make soup and donate that as well, what they'll do, they can either decorate a table, and the tables are judged, and we do have a little trophy for the table. They can do it as an individual or as a family, and then we share the soup, like I said, with the soup kitchen and then with each other.
What a great idea. That's fantastic. All right, what else do we have?
We also, on March the 3rd, we have 4-H presentations.
That's in March, isn't it?
That's in March. We have several different categories, and actually the youth do a presentation, and they're competing at the county level to go on to the district level. And the winners, the first and second place, will go on to the district level, which is in Lenore County coming up this summer, and they'll compete there to go on to the state level.
And this is what kind of competition?
It's called presentations. That's where they they take
public speaking.
Public speaking. Well, we had a public speaking where it's a little bit different than a presentation program. Our public speaking, they're not using any posters or things like that. In presentations, they're using posters to get the point across, so they have a show and tell of what they're doing.
Oh, that's great. And this is something that will stick with them forever.
Exactly. As a matter of fact, over the years, and I've been a 4-H agent for 28 years, the one thing that more people come back to me and say stuff about is their opportunity to do public speaking and having that chance to do presentations.
I'm sure.
And how the effect that had on them and how it helped them out in schools and stuff. So
That's great.
getting young people involved in public speaking in any way, whether it is or public speaking or presentations, is a great thing for any child in the county.
And again, this is March 3rd.
This is March the 3rd at the Wayne Center.
Wayne Center.
And it's divided up in age group. We do have to register that as well.
Okay.
And if anyone, 4-H is a nonprofit and we're open to everyone.
Right.
And so if anyone that's in public speaking, you automatically become a 4-H member by coming and participating in our events and stuff. So if someone wants to do public speaking, they can compete.
Isn't there an age group?
There is several age groups. We have the 5 to 8, 9 to 10, 11 to 13, and 14 to 18-year-olds.
Okay, so a 50 or 60-year-old is out.
Well, a little bit.
I'm sorry.
I know. Most of us are out when
Most
it comes
of
to that. But,
Okay.
but it is for young people. 4-H is in the county, and it's divided up from our clover buds at 5 years old all the way up to the 18th year birthday. So, and we work with those young people.
Okay, and is there you need to register ahead of time? We're going to give all these phone numbers out here in just a minute so that people can register. What about cost? Is there a cost involved with this?
There's no cost for this. Everything is free. 4-H is a nonprofit, and we are a pay-as-you-go. And so if we do things that do cost, we set up a fee for the cost, and we charge exactly what it costs for them to participate. So there's no making money for them, and a lot of times we can provide a camp or an activity at a reasonable price because we are county supported, we are state supported, and also the federal supported is how we get paid. So we have our facilities there at no charge, and so we're able to keep the cost for the activities for young people at a real minimum charge.
I know that under the in the case of very rarely, if there is a fee for something, that's simply to cover cost of materials.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have one other thing that
What
I
else
want
do we
to.
have, Wallace?
Well, we have a volunteer leaders state banquet and state volunteer leaders conference coming up this weekend, and it's going to be held in Raleigh. And what we do in that is we're recognizing, or not we, the state is recognizing all of our volunteers across the state who've done outstanding jobs, and Wayne County is always represented well for those who get represented because we have a lot of people who are getting recognition this year.
That's great.
And we have a few from our staff that are being recognized, and actually Barbara Byers, who is here today, will be recognized one of the highest volunteer awards. It's not only she works for Extension, but she also is
I'm not surprised.
she is a volunteer for 4-H.
All right, time out. Don't stop the recording, okay? Hold on just a moment. When is this?
This is this weekend.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Okay, this is not going to air until next week.
Okay. Okay. Well, I was just telling these are
All right,
who's
we're going to start this segment over.
over,
We're
and
going to
I'll
start
say
over,
that
and we will say
these
this
were
past weekend.
They were recognized.
This past weekend. That's what we're going to say. Okay.
Okay.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And this
What else
past-
we have going on, Wallace?
Okay, this past weekend, we had recognized some of our outstanding volunteers from Wayne County at the State Volunteer Leaders Conference.
Okay, great.
And
where was that?
It was in Raleigh.
Raleigh.
And Raleigh set it up to recognize all the volunteer work that volunteers have done across the state, and we submit each of those for an award. And we have several volunteers from Wayne County being recognized for their efforts.
Well, that's wonderful. Anybody in particular?
Well, we have several, but in particular, I'd like to mention Barbara Byers, who most people know here in Wayne County because she's worked here for several years, but she's being recognized as a volunteer for 4-H as well, and she's receiving the highest award that a volunteer can receive in the state.
That's a state award.
That's a state
That is
award.
wonderful. Well, you know, I've known Barbara a long time, and she has received many points of recognition, many gratitudes from across the state, and she's just a wonderful person.
She
a very
is.
hard-working, dedicated 4-Her.
And she's been a volunteer for a long time and an employee here for a long time, and
wonderful.
she's receiving She's being inducted into the 4-H Hall
Really?
of
Oh, that's
Achievement.
wonderful.
So it's
Well,
it's
we're
really,
proud. We're proud of Barbara.
And there's several others. Connie Greason from our staff.
I know Connie, yes, that's wonderful.
She's receiving the 4-H After School Award.
Great.
And for a donor award, we've had sponsors. Of course, being nonprofit, we have a lot of people who are sponsors. The Exchange Club of Goldsboro has sponsored us for over 25 years.
Wow.
We do the Youth and Government Business Day, and they're finally being recognized at the state level for their long-term sponsorship of 4-H here in the county, and we're pleased to have them and work as a partner with them and the school system and 4-H together to provide a youth with an opportunity to go out in a place of business where they spend the day and they write an essay about their experience. So it gives them a chance to see firsthand what a job is like before they choose a career. And that's something that you typically do not have the opportunity to do very much anymore, to see firsthand what's actually going out there and what the jobs are. So that's a real good program, and they sponsored the meal and they sponsor the trophies, the Exchange Club, and they're being recognized for that. In addition to that,
There's more?
There's more. we have several. Like
What else we have? Go
we
ahead.
have a lot of great volunteers.
Yeah, man.
Dina Newcomb.
Yes.
She's receiving the Southeast District Volunteer Award.
Right.
So we're divided into districts, and also Vanessa Tharrington. She's receiving the Southeast District Volunteer Award. They work together with our homeschool, our Teach Club, which is one of the largest clubs in the community. They have around 75 youth that participate in a homeschool 4-H club, and they're volunteers for that. And then we have Ann Finch. She's being recognized as a 4-H adult volunteer as well for the Southeast District. And as a team award, Ann and Laura Alley is receiving the state team award for their work in the robotics clubs.
Oh, let me tell you.
And you've seen that before. They've been on here, but they do some outstanding work. But every year they have to generate over $5,000 to go to the competitions, and that competition's coming up this spring. So we'll get to see them in action, what they're coming up with, and they don't know exactly what their goal is yet, but they'll build a robot which will compete against other robots.
Well, let me tell you, we have one of the most active, and you know this, one of the most active 4-H chapters here in the state. And I'll tell you what, people don't realize how big our robotics program is with 4-H here. We have an enormous robotics program, and these kids, these young adults are so talented. It's amazing what they're able to do. And they make these things from scratch.
Exactly.
These are robotics, and these things do things.
And they're using.
They do things.
They're doing things, and the robot can cost several $1,000s, and that's the reason that $5,000 comes into play. And they're using military grade type instruments to program the robot to do what the task is that's set before them, and it's almost like it used to be robotic wars on TV and stuff like that. These robots get out there, and it's called First Robotics, and we've been competing in that for several years now, and with Miss Ann and Miss Laura as our team leaders. And everybody that's in the club has their own function, whether it's designing the robot to do the activity, or it's actually driving the robot around, or it's the computer programming to get the robot to talk to the computer so they're manufacturing a robot that will go out there and compete against all the others from across the Southeast region.
Wow, that's really exciting, and I hope at some point everybody can see what's happening with the robotics program and what you're doing with the 4-H program. And of course, I know everyone wants to congratulate Barbara Byers on her recognition.
Exactly,
so,
and our others.
And others, of course. Connie Greason, wonderful.
So our volunteers do a whole lot, and we depend on volunteers in 4-H to make sure that our program is one of the best in the state, and it is, and it's one of the largest in the state as well. So we're reaching out to a lot of people, but there's always room for more volunteers.
There you go. So how does someone volunteer?
Well, basically, we do a background check to make sure that they're working with the young people, that they're qualified, and basically all they have to do is get in touch with the 4-H office, and all they have to do that is call 911. I'm sorry, 919.
Oh, okay.
731 1527.
Okay, 919 731 1527.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
I got you. I knew you.
Yeah, I was
I know that.
No.
Listen, Wallace, thank
Well,
you so
thank you very much.
Fantastic job you're doing for the 4-H, and I appreciate you coming in.
Thank you
talking
very
to us
much,
about
and
it.
I appreciate you having us over.
Oh, sure.
And 4-H is open to our young people and to those who are 50 years old to volunteer. So, we're looking for volunteers. So anybody who'd like to volunteer,
And you can
give me
do
a
so
call.
simply by calling Wallace Simmons at 919-731-1527 with the Cooperative Extension Service 4-H program. Thanks, Wallace.
Thank you very much.
Our next guest today in the studio is Barbara Byers, and I've known Barbara, 40, 50, 60 years? Maybe not quite that, something like that. Anyway, a long time. And Barbara is with 4-H, and she has been a 4-H'er for many years, having received state recognition and all kinds of kudos and everything for your constant efforts in making 4-H work and helping young people. Helping young people. I wanted to ask you, Barbara, give me some background on you and your history with 4-H. Tell me about it.
Well, I started as a 4-H volunteer. Connie Greason, who works with us at Cooperative Extension, had a club, and her daughters were the age of my boys, and she asked me to come, and I said, you know, I'm going back to school. I don't know if I have enough time, and I'm volunteering with Boy Scouts, and so this is a true story, sent a letter home saying, our club is meeting next Monday, and signed her name and my name, and the boys brought it home, and I said, oh, guess I'm doing 4-H.
So you didn't have a lot of choice, did you?
And I have loved every moment of it. So we had a club in Pikeville, and that kind of dissolved once our children aged out, and went on to college, and she started working at the 4-H office, and Howard Scott, who was our agent then, asked if I wanted to come start an after-school program.
Oh, okay.
So I started working after school, where we have 6 sites at elementary schools that people can pay for their children to come. So I did Carver and Mount Olive and Fremont and Eureka, when Eureka still had a school. So yeah, that dates me.
It does, doesn't it?
And then I started the program at Northeast Elementary when it opened up. And after a while, they moved me to the middle school. We got a Support Our Students grant, and so we started doing after school at middle schools.
So in these are little chapters in the schools. And what age group?
Well, whatever the age group of the school is.
Oh, okay.
So I had kindergarten through 5th and elementary.
So what would you do in these classes, these 4-H classes in these schools? What would the kids do?
We would. You got to feed them. So there's always snack. They'd have homework time, and we do a 4-H activity and take them outside, or or play in the gym.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then that was a few years back.
Yeah, one or two.
All right, and then leading on beyond that.
Betty Williams was our 4-H program associate.
Sure.
She retired, and I applied for her job and did that for 10 years. Love that, organizing events and activities and working with the clubs and the volunteers. And so I still continue to work with the volunteers all along, and I do a lot of training for them and really enjoy that. I'm teaching some classes this weekend for them.
Okay.
And then we got a grant from East Point to work with students in the county to teach them how to say no to risky behavior such as alcohol, tobacco, and drugs. So I've been doing that for the past 8 years.
Now that's an interesting, an important part of 4-H is working with young people, helping to influence them in making right decisions. Now you don't tell them the decisions to make, is that right? You help them decide what the right decisions are.
This week I taught them the steps of making a decision. You got to think about your choices. What are the pros? What are the cons? What's the best choice for me?
How many youngsters are you working with now at a time? Do you keep track of that?
This week I've probably worked with 75.
Whew. What kind of response do you get? Because people, you know what, Barbara, I hear a lot of people say, you know, these kids today, they don't pay attention. They don't, all they're doing is they're looking at the screens, and they just don't know, they're not kids like we used to be. What's your opinion of that? What's going on?
Well, they're kids. They are. So we have an evidence-based curriculum we teach. So we try to do role plays. Mm-hmm. We played charades this week where they had to guess the emotion.
Oh, it's not just movie titles. It's something serious then.
Because emotions, you know, if you're sad, you may drink. If you're frustrated, whatever, lonely, yeah. So we talk about those uncomfortable feelings and how to deal with them.
Okay.
What can you do instead? You know, call a friend, go for a walk.
So how do these young adults respond to that sort of thing?
They do pretty well. I mean, it's like anything else. You have to keep asking them over and over again.
You have to grab their attention, right?
So we do that, and of course, I bring them a treat each day.
Oh,
so,
do you now?
Yeah, if they participate and behave, they get a treat.
Yeah.
When I leave.
Okay. What would you like to see? Is there anything you'd like to see change in the 4-H? Something to expand or something to take away, or in your opinion now? This is just us talking here. What would you like to see done?
I wish we could reach even more kids. It's a great program. I've seen it grow over the last, year or two. Things have changed.
Yeah.
But young people still need a positive adult in their life.
What's missing? Are they missing role models, or what? What are they missing?
I don't know. They need people to believe in them, and to, I once had a dad say, "How do you get him to do that?" And I just ask him. Well, he won't do that for me. Mm-hmm. I just ask him. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you get, sometimes you don't. I have a lot of Hispanic children. And I love my Hispanic children. They're very eager to learn. Mm-hmm. They want to know. But I find a lot of them are eager, regardless of race, are eager to learn.
Do you? Yeah, they're kids are kids, mm-hmm. regardless from where they come. Do you ever get involved with parents and say, parents come to you and say, what can I do to make my child mind better or pay attention?
Sometimes, but working at the school, I don't see parents as much.
Yeah.
And I miss that. I like the family concept of 4-H where, you see mom and dad at the events and activities and the brothers and sisters, and I liked that family concept, which is one reason why I got involved in the beginning.
Yeah.
And the values, the life skills that 4-H taught my children. And I just know it's important, and I want all children.
And I can't help but feel that somewhere along the way that you have been inspired, and you have learned, and you have picked up on a lot as well. When
I first started, I wouldn't talk to anybody. I was very shy.
No.
Yes.
Not Barbara Byers. Come on.
I was like, I told Howard Scott, I said, I'll work with children, but don't make me talk to adults.
Barbara, you are a delight. I appreciate so much you coming in.
I appreciate you letting me come and reminisce this morning.
Well, that's good. Well, you're welcome to come back anytime and reminisce, okay?
Thanks.
All right. Barbara Byers is what are you again? You are the program
associate.
Okay. 4-H program associate with Wayne County Cooperative Extension, doing a wonderful job, and congratulations on your state recognition recently.
Thank you.
Certainly. And if you want to talk to Barbara, you want to get some ideas, thoughts, pass along some information, you can call that number at 919-731-1520. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Back on Wayne Goldsboro Television. You will note that we again are in our Studio A2, All right, because we're just trying a different set out here today, and we try this one out. And I hope you enjoy that. Anyway, it's a Tuesday, okay? And do you have something?
Yes, we got the Go Wayne Go Spring Walks. We actually have one this Saturday.
Do we?
It's at Waynesboro Park. You will meet at the back parking lot at 801 US Bypass South, Goldsboro. And they have 4 trails that you can choose from
At Waynesboro Park?
at Old Waynesboro Park.
Oh, that's right across from the National Guard Army.
Yes.
Okay. Right across from the National Guard Army. And I'll tell you something. That is a fantastic place to go walk. Just fantastic. The trails there, and you know what? I didn't know of all those trails until, I guess, a year or two ago. Because that park's been there since 1986. But there is some, that's an amazing place to go walking. And if you're a walker, it's very scenic. Very scenic.
Yeah. And they start at 9 o'clock.
There you go. Okay. Now, let's see. Services for the blind. Mary Jones. Yeah, like that's her real name. Yeah. But her name is Mary Jones, and she will be presenting information at the Peggy Seeger Senior Center on independent living services and the medical eye care program of the North Carolina Division of Services for the Blind. Services provided through the Independent Living Services Program enable citizens to attain their highest level of independent and self-sufficiency in their own homes and communities. Hey. Services provided through the Medical Eye Care Program seek to prevent blindness and, where possible, to restore vision in individuals who have suffered loss of sight. Now, this event on February 24th at 10:30 in the morning is open to the public. February 24th, 10:30, open to the public at the Peggy Seeger Senior Center, which is at 2001 East Ash Street. 2001. Used to be the Sportsman's World.
Yes.
Okay, if you want information, call Paula Edwards, and Paula's number is 919-705-1785. 705-1785. I have the trivia question.
What is it?
And I have the trivia answer. The question was, the category was Africa. As we all know, Africa is a continent. There are only 7 continents. All of those continents except one are divided into countries, nations within their own. The one that is not divided would be Antarctica. And it's too cold to have a country in Antarctica. So they just gave it away. But the continent of Africa is made up within 3 of how many countries? How many individual nations or countries make up the continent of Africa? Any ideas?
No.
Okay. Within 3. I could take anything from 56 to 50. There's 53 countries on the continent of Africa, more than any other continent.
Wow.
More than any other. 53. And when you think that there's only 200, roughly give or take 3 or 4 countries in the entire world, that means just over a fourth of them are on the continent of Africa.
It's interesting.
I thought so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's see what else we have here. Do you have anything else?
Yes, I got one more.
What you got?
You know, it's Black History Month, and
Pardon
we have
me for
a
doing that there. Go ahead.
we have a quiz bowl and an art contest that's
Yeah.
coming up. It's for all Wayne County 6th through 8th graders.
Mm-hmm.
It will be held Saturday, February 20th,
Mhm.
from 12 to 3 at the Wayne County Museum.
Okay. Saturday the 20th.
20th, yes,
Okay.
that's this coming Saturday.
Oh, yeah. Sure is. Golly, this month is moving
It's
by.
flying.
Well, I'll tell you what else. We're going to have to move along here, and I hope you've enjoyed today. We'll be back again tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Then the show repeats at noon. The show then repeats at 5:30 p.m. If by some chance you happen to miss all that and there's something you want to see, you can go online to waynegov.com, and in the upper far right-hand corner, there's a link to YouTube. It is the very last icon in a series of 4. So if you go to that icon and click on it, it'll take you to our YouTube channel. All right? waynegov.com, upper right-hand corner, last icon is YouTube, a little red dot. So we'll do this again tomorrow. Please join us at that time. Until then, I'm Wayne Alley,
And I'm Pat Garner.
and this is Wayne Goldsboro Television.